Hello friend, happy Friday. Thanks for joining for another video blog where we continue the conversation we started last week. Why change can be so hard and why most people either don't change at all or they give up in the process as they changing, and a lot of times they stop right before some breakthroughs happened. So on part 1 last week, if you missed, I'm gonna put the link here below this video, you can watch. Last week, I started this conversation by talking about one of the reasons a lot of people give up in the process of change, and that is the focus on the outcome instead of the process, the everyday. And when you constantly focus on the outcome, you're gonna be acting more from a place of scarcity. How far I am from that goal, or I haven't made enough progress. You will get stuck in a negative mindset versus when you focus on the process, you focus on the actions you can do right now that keeps you back into the present moment and will feed your motivation. So watch that part 1. Part 2 today, we're gonna talk about a very strong force, a restraining force that keeps a lot of people from changing, and that is need for certainty. First of all, why I'm talking about this, why change is hard. This topic is important because anytime you start your journey of change, either you start reading some personal growth books, you start working with a therapist, or you start working with me or another coach, it's important for you to know there will be challenges along the way. I always prepare my clients after I share the amazing gifts that come when we're in this journey of change and transformation, transcendence. They're amazing gifts, and I always prepare my clients for the obstacles that will come. And like in the Stoic philosophy, they say the obstacle is the way. The obstacle, think like it's this chair. Oh, you can't see, but there's a chair. I put a chair right in front of me. The obstacle be like, oh, there's a chair in my way. If I'm not enabled with certain mindset tools, emotional tools, psychological tools, I might like, oh, it's not meant to be. I better stop here. This is not for me. I'm hardwired, I cannot change. Versus, oh, there's a chair. What can I do? I can move the chair. I can jump over the chair. I can crawl below the chair, right? It doesn't mean I need to stop, right? So this topic is important because, you know, a lot of books, a lot of the self-help industry, and I have done this myself. I'm gonna prove to you. A lot of us in the personal industry, and I wrote my book, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. A lot of us, when we are kind of in the beginning, or even some veterans in the personal growth world, we love to tell, hey, 7 mindsets for a fit life. We give these formulas, right? We say, these are the 7 steps, or these are the 10 steps. And a lot of times, including myself in my beginning years, fail to share that this is just like the beginning of the journey. We start work with the mind, and one part that I'm much better doing now, it's coaching my clients on some of the obstacles and difficulties that will come as we are in this journey to change, because there are a lot of restraining forces. So the restraining force we're going to talk about today is need for certainty. And this is so important because if your value, one of your most important values is certainty, I'm gonna tell you right now that you're gonna have extremely hard time making changes in your life. And what is a value? You might not even know. You might say, well, certainty is not a value to me. Well, value, and it's something that I spend a lot of time when I start working with my clients. We spend 6 hours doing a breakthrough session, and almost for a full hour we talk about values, and our values are usually stored in our unconscious mind. It's not conscious. So you might say certainty is not a value to me. So let me ask you this, what stops you from changing? If I told you today, hey, you have to quit your job, let go some of your daily habits, and I'm gonna give you like, $200,000. And the secret, the caveat of this is you don't know what you're gonna be doing with this $200,000. I'm gonna give you no clue what I'm gonna ask you to do, and I'm gonna give you this money. And guess what? A lot of people say, no, I'll pass the money, thank you, even though they would love to have $200,000. But the level of the need for certainty keep us right here. Even though people tell us, oh, it's so nice out there, it's so amazing there, that is uncertain. So if you're somebody who has hard time making decisions, and you already know about yourself that you don't like changes, most like you value certainty. And you might not use the word certainty, maybe you use the word safety and security. You might say, oh, safety and security are extremely important to me. Well, it's an illusion. Nothing is really safe and nothing is really secure. And we're living through this right now in this pandemic and this very volatile climate here in the United States, right? Now, I am not speaking about the hierarchy of values, the Maslow hierarchy of values, which number one is like safety and secure when it comes to our survival needs. I don't speak to the audience that cannot even buy money for food. I'm not speaking about that safety and security. The people I'm talking to, including yourself, are people who are safe and secure, meaning you have shelter, you have food, you have a social network of people. So if you value safety and security, I'm going to tell you right now that you value certainty. And the problem of that is that if that's your value, safety and security, and unconsciously we will do everything that will give us this sense of safety and security. We'll compromise on happiness, we'll compromise our health, we'll compromise our fulfillment a lot of times. Example, there are people who are willing to stay in a job that they hate. They will literally hate their jobs, but they stay. Why? Safety and security. Even though it doesn't really have the safety and security, because when you work for a company, for example, and you have that stable paycheck, well, that can end any moment. Look what happened this year with the pandemic, with a lot of businesses closing. So anything can happen anytime. And that's why we're seeing a lot of high levels of overwhelm, stress, anxiety this year, because if you are somebody who values certainty, times right now might be very challenging for you. So I want to bring you some light here. So if you focus your entire life on safety and security, you might stay in a job that you hate, or maybe hate is a strong word for you. You might just be in a job that keeps you in that mediocrity level. With no offense, mediocrity is just something that we do, yeah, it's good enough. Anytime you say that's good enough, that's mediocrity. It's not bad. It's just you're settling for less than what you really want and deserve. Or a lot of people are willing to stay in stressful, hard, difficult relationships, sometimes even abusive, right? I hear people talking to me sometimes how they're not getting support, they're not getting love, they're not getting understanding, and they're willing to stay in the relationship. Why? Need for safety and security. Even though there's absolutely no safety and security in that relationship, because the person's not there for you, and that person, even if you're getting a lot of your needs met, that person can leave anytime. But we don't want to think about that, right? Because that terrifies people who live with the value of certainty. Or, big example right now, a lot of people are getting sick in our country with COVID. Why? Because they being unhealthy, overweight. I'm not saying anybody deserves to be healthy. Please don't twist my words here. I'm just saying that when we have poor health, we are overweight, our immune system is compromised, so we become more vulnerable to infections, and it's happening right now. And at the same time, people with poor health, overweight, know what they need to do in order to build better health, to get in shape, and yet they won't do it. Why? Because even in that state of poor health and being overweight, there's a level of certainty. What is the level of certainty that I'm talking about? Is that certainty that you know, I feel this way today, even if it's misery, unhappiness. I feel this way today. I know tomorrow I'm going to feel exactly the same way. Next week I'm going to feel exactly the same way. Now, this is all happening in an unconscious or subconscious, same thing, level. Nobody's waking up and say, I'm going to stay the same because I need certainty. This is happening again in a subconscious level because that's where our values are. So even though you might say, no, my values are travel, money, and happiness. Okay, great. And what are you really showing through your lifestyle? Or values get shown by our results, by our habits, by our behaviors. That's what it shows. If you tell me you value money, and I will go check your bank statement, and I see that you spend tons of money in things that don't matter, and then you are broke, but you say to me that money is a value, that's not true, because there's a big difference between values and I want. Want is more something that is in your conscious mind. I want more money, I want a bigger house, I want a relationship. That's a want. Value is on our unconscious mind. So if I have a conversation with you for about a couple hours, I will be able to tell you what your values are. Because through your conversation, through your dialogue, through your words, by learning what your problems are and by learning what your fear is, I will be able to tell exactly what your values are. So need for certainty, it's keeping you the same. So I'm here to ask you to let go the grip. Well, when I say let go the grip, imagine you're holding something so tight, right? This is certain. I'm holding this red pen. This is very certain. I say, I want to give you 10 pens. Can you let go of this pen? No, I need this pen. If you don't open your hand and let this go and open your hand, I cannot give you something else. So in order for me to give you 10 pens in exchange, you need to give that up. So that's kind of giving up uncertainty. Now, some of you that are brainiacs or say, Alex, that's impossible. Our brain needs a level of certainty. Absolutely. Our brain needs a level of certainty. And the level of certainty and true levels of safety and security, you know where you find? Within yourself. After you meet your survival needs, all the security and safety that you need is within you. It's built on your skills, on your own value, in your talents, in your ability to learn, in your ability to adapt. That's what true security is. I know if I lose my business and if I absolutely don't get any new clients in the next 3-4 months, I might be in trouble. And I know I will be okay because I have multiple skills and talents, and I will learn how to cover my bases. So that's my sense of true security. And right now, if you don't start relying on your safety and security that is inside you, you might get hijacked by what's going on in the world. So how do you move from certainty? How do you start letting go this need for certainty that is keeping you trapped in this world that you start to realize that it's not working for you? Yeah, everything is the same. Tomorrow you're going to be the same, and after tomorrow. And my question is that what you really want? Every day to look the same. And if you're totally in a state of joy, because joy is a marker of success. I tried for years to define what success is. And today I can stand here and say, success, it's living in a state of joy. So if you live in a state of joy most of the time, then you're on track. Then just listen to this video and pass to somebody that might need this advice. If you're not living in a state of joy, then my invitation to you is, why? What areas in your life do you want to change? You want to work on your personal growth, spiritual development, family, relationship, health, or your career. Those are the 6 major areas in our lives. So just have an open conversation with you and start the journey of exploration, because the number one thing you want to do to replace certainty is to start shifting your mindset. My coaching has 4 pillars. The mind is where we start working. I'm teaching a little bit of mindset work here. Pillar number 2 is energy, master your physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental energy. Number 3, it's emotions, letting go of negative emotions and emotional intelligence. And number 4 is the spiritual work, developing that inner, that deeper intuition, connecting with your heart, connect with the source, really unleash your compassion, empathy, right? So today we're addressing mindset because that's the first part. That's the easier entrance to our being, if you will, is through the mental state. So if you're willing, only if you're willing to let go the grip of the need for certainty, I invite you to adopt a mindset of adventure. Think of adventure. Think like, you know, what happens when you go on a trip. You get a little nervous. I always get nervous when I travel because I haven't been a person to travel my whole life. I always get nervous. So I get nervous before I fly. I get nervous before I do a long road trip. And I have a very adventurous mindset in spirit. So who wouldn't like to be a little more adventurous, right? So adopt an adventurous mindset. What is the adventure mindset? It is a mindset that's gonna lead you to be the explorer, to see what's out there. So if you're being locked in a room, let's say your life, the metaphor is a room like this, and you start to get the itch that you wanna see something else, and you're afraid, like you wanna see what's in that building, I'm a little afraid, and I wanna see. You wanna increase your desire to be more adventurous, to explore what's out there. And the brain needs novelty. That's the thing. Think about the times that you did something new and you said to yourself, oh my God, I can't believe I almost didn't come to this party or I almost didn't come on this trip and I'm having a ball. I know that feeling because I used to be a very rigid person. People say, let's go to this concert. I'm like, no, I don't like a lot of people. And then I will go and have a blast. Right? So I know need for certainty because I used to be a lot like that person, like I want my role totally. That's a need for control too. We're not gonna even talk about that today, but need for certainty and control go hand to hand. They're kind of twins. So adopt a mindset of adventure. Go explore. Remember the times in the past when you had a lot of fun because you were in a mindset of adventure and exploring. And the third one, my favorite word after courage, it's curiosity. Become curious. What is out there? What is out there? I would like to see. I'm scared. Okay, well then explore your fear. That's a lot of the work I do with my clients. Explore the fear, face fear head on, right? So by adopting a mindset of adventure, exploration, curiosity, I want you to replace certainty for curiosity. Okay? And when I say this, I'm not saying be risky, put yourself in danger. No. And take some risks. Take some risks that you know are not gonna kill you. Some risks that might bring disappointment. That's always a risk. So the other side of like giving up, you know, the grip of certainty is the willingness to take the risk, to get disappointed. That's life. To get even hurt. It's part of life. To have your expectations not being met. Once you make it okay, you see this is all on the other side. The reason people grip to certainty, it's because of fear. And once you fear, name all these fears, and we're gonna talk about this on the video number 3, we're gonna talk about fear. But I wanna just start a conversation here with you and have you reflecting. Is certainty, need for safety and security a value for you? And is that holding you back? And this is a very strong restraining force that is holding a lot of people back and is preventing them from being the person they want to be, doing the things they want to do, and have the things they want to have. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, resonated with you, please share this with your social media. And if you want to have a conversation about this, book a free call. And before you book that call, watch part 1 and let me know you're interested in a call, and I will send you a video just for you to prepare for our call, and we can explore if need for certainty is something that's holding you back, and we can dig deep and dissolve those fears so you can be that person you want to be, do the things you want to do, and have the things you want to have. Thank you so much and have a great weekend.